Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today I think it's time to sit down and finally admit something to ourselves. Activision won, at least for the time being. This may very well be a situation of winning the battle but losing the war, but at least for the time being, Verdansk has been a success, a huge success to be frank, and we were very skeptical going into it, of course. We're kind of curious to see how things were going to go, and obviously it would have been crazy if Verdansk failed. Like, what would Activision do then? But so far, it's been working out pretty well. We initially said that the first weekend would be incredibly telling, and then the first full week would really point us in the direction that we were heading. Well, the numbers are good. I mean, they're not quite the same numbers that you would get for a launch of a brand new game or anything like that, but so far it's been over 2 weeks and the player retention numbers are steady, and they're also a bit higher than what we averaged last year during Modern Warfare 3. So people love Verdansk, they're happy to come back to it. Warzone has saved the COD franchise, at least for the time being, but therein lies a pretty big problem for Activision and a lot of hurdles that we are going to have to deal with as the community. Looking back at the player numbers that we've been covering over the course of the past 4 or 5 months now, it seems like there was a huge problem going on with the COD franchise. For one reason or another, player numbers were just going down ridiculously, and I don't think it's necessarily Black Ops 6's fault. I mean, when we look at Black Ops 6, what is actually the problem there? Like, truly, is it the time to kill? Is it the gunplay? Is it the perk system? Even the Omni movement, for crying out loud? Like, genuinely, what is the biggest transgression that we have with Black Ops 6? I mean, could it be the score streaks and how they're virtually a non-factor if you're in the top 50% of players? Is it the map design of the maps that came out with the launch of the game? Like, what truly is the problem with Black Ops 6? Because before Verdansk, player numbers were in the toilet. Like, we had a massive launch, everybody said, ew, we don't like this, they stopped playing, and then now that Verdansk is back, they're playing once again. And the obvious issue that I'm sure a lot of us have here, considering you're watching my channel and we're a multiplayer focused channel, is when multiplayer was at the forefront, the game was down the gutter, we were losing so many players, we were hitting record lows. Like, typically, the player counts that we had right after the launch of Black Ops 6 were typically the player numbers that you would see at the very end of the game's life cycle, but it was happening like 6 weeks after the launch of Black Ops 6. It was freaking bad, and that's really concerning if you're just a straight up multiplayer fan. If you don't care about Battle Royale, if you don't care about Verdansk or Warzone or anything like that, you're solely focused on the multiplayer, well, it seems like the vast majority of people just don't care about the current iteration of the Call of Duty multiplayer experience, and I don't necessarily think that's Black Ops 6's fault. I've heard other content creators talk about this, like, what is the big issue this year with Black Ops 6 compared to any other year? Like, there's something really overly wrong with the game, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes back to the same thing. Those 4 little letters that I've never covered here in the channel whatsoever, not even one time: skill-based matchmaking, man. That's straight up what it comes down to. If you're Activision and you want a healthy player base, you want people coming back to the game and everything and spending money in the shop, all they needed to do for Warzone was say, okay, well, everything we're doing now sucks, let's go back to the past and just kind of make Warzone like it used to be, and fans will be happy, right? It was a big gamble, but it paid off. It's working out pretty fantastically for them. But when it comes to multiplayer, where can they go with that? I mean, they could remaster an old game perhaps, but there's not really much they can do on the multiplayer end to mimic what they just did with Warzone. They can't just be like, okay, we're going to make the Black Ops 6 multiplayer just like Black Ops 1. It wouldn't happen. There's no way they can do that, especially with the matchmaking system. In my own personal opinion, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this down there in the comments, because we were talking about this on my stream the other day, and it really kind of just struck a chord with me. When it comes to a new game coming out, it's really difficult for that game to replicate the success that prior games had. We talked just recently, right, about Firing Range. Now, Firing Range is now in the game, and while it's a great map, it's a classic map, it's probably a top 5, top 10 map of all time for pretty much every COD fan. How many times, man? Like, how many times are we going to see Firing Range? How many times are we going to play it? How come after all these years, I mean, Firing Range is a 15, 16-year-old map at this point. How come they can't come out with something just as good or better than Firing Range and have that be the new classic, right? Well, I don't think that's ever going to happen anymore. It's due to the matchmaking system, and it's due to how Call of Duty itself is perceived by the general community. The cheating problem is massive here within this franchise. Like, I don't understand why cheaters are such an issue in COD compared to other games. Like, no other game that I'm aware of, and I do play a lot of games, has the amount of cheaters and the amount of issues that Call of Duty has. I mean, for crying out loud, let's check out this clip right here. I had to capture this, mind you. I was laying in bed just scrolling Reddit, whatever, couldn't sleep, and I saw this clip over on the COD Warzone subreddit, so I decided I needed to record this with my phone, which is why the quality is so freaking bad, because I knew the shills, the goons over on the various Call of Duty subreddits were going to eventually delete the post, and of course they freaking freaking did. But here you see just some blatant cheating going on in Warzone, and it's happening all the time. They try their best to censor it, which is freaking scummy and malicious and just downright creepy if you really think about it. But Call of Duty itself, the whole point of skill-based matchmaking is to cater the entire game to the casual player base. But to casual players, Call of Duty is a cheater-filled game. We learned recently that over 60% of the cheating reports are made against console players, and 9 times out of 10, console players aren't going to be cheating. I mean, they might have a Cronus or whatever, but in general, it's way easier to cheat on PC as compared to consoles. What we can learn from that is basically whenever you die, especially as a super casual player, you just assume that the other player is cheating. You then combine that with the fact that we have like 10 different skill-based matchmaking brackets. Everybody thinks they're good at Call of Duty even if they're not, because the game tricks you and gaslights you into thinking you're good by giving you very special specific lobbies based on your skill level. And Call of Duty itself now has this reputation of just having like these really weird wonky lobbies along with crazy skins, and it's much more focused on the younger audience. And because of all of that, you combine everything together, the Call of Duty experience is no longer unified. You never really have an idea of what's happening to the other players out there. The experience that I have on a daily basis can be night and day different than the experience that you have, for example. With everybody playing essentially different versions of the game, how are we supposed to accurately judge the COD franchise anymore? When Firing Range first came out, to get back to that, it was very simple. We all played the exact same version of the game. If you were good, you were good. If you were bad, you were bad. Everybody was on the exact same playing field, and the map was able to shine because it was on that even playing field. We don't have that anymore. So if you're Activision and you're thinking to yourselves, well, Warzone is what's saving the franchise right now, multiplayer is kind of down the gutter, what can we do to make that experience better? They have no freaking idea. I have no freaking idea, right? With skill-based matchmaking existing the way that it is right now, I don't think it really matters what they do, because if you really look at it, you really break it down, Black Ops 6 at its core, there's not really anything wrong with it. I mean, the progression is there, the gunplay is there, the time to kill is fine, Omni movement is not that crazy or anything like that. It just ultimately comes down to the fact that while you have this amazing sandbox that is the Call of Duty franchise, it's the exact same experience every time you play once you reach a certain threshold as a player with your gameplay. If you're an above average player, all of your lobbies are pretty much going to play out the exact same. That variety, that sandbox that we used to have with the COD series is no longer there. You have to basically wait, and we've talked about this in the past, but it's freaking crazy how it works. You basically have to wait for the current game to end and for the new game to come out to go back and play the other game. A great case in point is we talked about skill-based matchmaking all last year with Modern Warfare 3. It was freaking frustrating. It truly was. But now, if you go back to Modern Warfare 3 or even Modern Warfare 2, which I'm pretty sure is on Game Pass now, if you go back to those games, there is no skill-based matchmaking. There isn't enough people on the game to really try to ruin you with skill-based matchmaking and completely manipulate your lobbies. It's night and day different. And dare I say, it's freaking fun, dude. It's like ridiculously fun to go back because you don't have to go there and like try your ass off and pretend there's money on the line or anything like that. You can go back there and use a goofy setup with goofy perks, a goofy gun, wherever the hell, and run around and still have fun and enjoy yourself and not feel like the game is trying to manipulate you and gaslight you into thinking you're a good player or thinking that you're having fun, but rather you're having that authentic, old school, organic Call of Duty experience that made us fall in love with the franchise in the first place. So if you're Activision and you're thinking to yourselves like, multiplayer, what can we do to get people to actually enjoy the multiplayer so they can spend more money in the shop? I don't think there's anything they can do at this point anymore. I mean, they don't have something like Verdansk they can just go back to. I mean, they might want to remaster Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Recently, we did learn that those games are going to be re-released in some capacity this year, it appears. So, of course, I will cover that when more information comes out. But if you're Activision, what the hell do you do? You've backed yourself into a corner. You've royally screwed yourself with this matchmaking system and doubling down on it so many times. Time and time again, they've done it. And with Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out and now Battlefield, I mean, just the other day, they revealed this new clip for Battlefield. It's nothing crazy or anything. It kind of just shows like the evolution and the destruction within Battlefield. And of course, it's very early alpha and all that. So it's nowhere near finished by any stretch of the imagination. But a new Battlefield, that sounds pretty freaking fun. I'm not going to lie. And GTA is going to be the biggest video game release probably in the history of the world. And Call of Duty's out here saying, man, Verdansk is pretty cool, right? Like by that point, the re-release of Verdansk will be nearly a year old. It's not going to have that same like newness, that same freshness to it that it does right now, you know? And so what's Activision going to do? What other aces do they possibly have up their sleeves? It's going to be interesting for sure. But I wanted to make this video here today, more of a rambling one than anything, just kind of talking about the fact that Verdansk has been a success so far. But again, going full circle here, it may very well be a situation where they won the battle, but they're still going to lose the war. And as always, time will tell, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here with you guys every step of the way as more news stories and more information comes out. It's been a barren wasteland in terms of news and updates and like interesting things happening in the COD series. I mean, the new event is out for crying out loud, but just these events, and Ink Slasher said pretty much the same thing on Twitter. I mean, new stuff is fine. Like, you know, you're putting out like the nail gun once again. There's a perk in there. It's like one of the worst perks I've ever seen in my life. And then, I don't know, you get a couple of extra things, calling cards and emblems. It's whatever, but you just earn XP. It doesn't really feel like an event. It feels generic, you know what I mean? Especially compared to how amazing events used to be in the COD series. So maybe that's something Activision should look into. I've said it time and time again, but going back to making the events feel special like we used to have with Shamrock and Awe, Operation Winter Siege, Days of Summer, Halloween Scream, even like all these different things they used to do back in the day as compared to now where it's like, wow, the Black Ops tribute event. What do? Well, you level up and then eventually you get the John Black Ops skin. I'm just like, okay, I mean, free stuff's cool, but you would think they'd make it a bit more interesting to go about, like just engage players a little bit more as compared to just letting the player numbers continue to decline in multiplayer while numbers in Warzone continue to rise. And just, it sort of feels like we're back in 2019/2020. It truly feels like we've gone back to the COVID days now where Warzone's all the rage and nobody cares about multiplayer. The devs don't even care about multiplayer. It's just kind of an afterthought, and it's a place that you go to level up your guns so you can go play Warzone. It definitely feels like history is repeating itself. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this video here today. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments, and stay tuned for tomorrow's video because it's going to be a special one, especially for longtime viewers of the channel. So until then, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for listening and for your continued support of my channel, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.